So, welcome to the show. I am your host, Alpha the Prince, and my co-host.
It's your boy Papa Fredo. This is the Midwest Point of View, where we give our point of view on life, business, culture here in the Midwest.
All right, so let's get right into it. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. As much as I love doing our segments, I wanna add this, and I actually want to start here. For those who don't know, it is the day after July 4th, and a lot of things happen over the holiday. A lot of people they go out and celebrate for whatever reasons that they do. That's between them. But one of the things that isn't talked about is the violence that happens over the holiday, and it just it feels ridiculous how repetitive this is. Because I would hear about it and you would plan it. Like you were planning into your schedule and it's subconscious. So what I mean when I say that, bro, is like, all right, but whatever's going on the 4th or whoever's going on the 4th, you know, be prepared to watch for this, and this, because some usually always happen. And every time you wake up, whether it's the weekend before, the weekend after, you hear all the incidents, and they be like, man, they prepare. Like the city police be preparing for this. And it's crazy.
It has become a culture norm. Like we just know on the 4th of July, something's going to happen. So I'm a victim advocate. If I haven't mentioned that before, I'll mention it now so everybody can know. So what I do here in my city is I respond to gunshot victims. So when they reach the hospital, things of that sort, we're going out, we're trying to provide services to those victims. So just for example, from what Afro the Prince going off of, just last night, not even last night, this morning, two in the morning, working on 3, there was a multi what's the word I'm looking for? It was several gunshots let off, but several people were wounded. Okay? Like this was just ridiculously crazy. Like you would think that people making it to bed around this time, like the night them been excellent. We didn't have any issues or we heard any real sirens or shootings going on. It was nothing but fireworks throughout the entire city. We was just downtown. It was fun. Everybody was having a good time. Now, here we go. All these people that got shot. Now, I respond to one of those people that did get wounded.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like the story just that she could provide, is just, you got family and friends and kids outside. Why take an altercation so far to the extreme that you're willing to risk all of their lives out there for something that's been settled by either verbal, or if you felt that it was that harsh, the way that person disrespected you or harmed you, you could have put hands and feet on
them. Yeah. So for me, as an advocate, they outside. For me as an advocate though, in my city, in Chicago, I am a real life community activist. I've been an activist for about 4 years, like actively on the ground, if you want to talk about it like that. And I do community work, from volunteering, mentoring with the boys, and chancellor mentoring, and there's a few other things, but it started off with just wanting my community to be better. So, when I hear these things, and it's one of the things that we learn, it's called restorative communication, right? So in other words, it's not, it's how you say things, not necessarily what you say. And then there's other routes in the way that you can communicate, and you don't necessarily have to resort to violence. You feel me? There are other ways to resolve these conflicts. And I think that when it comes to the fact that you got so-called, or I already put it to it like this, grown males, because to me, if you using violence and you just disregarding the baby that you see across the street, clear as day, there's right there, I don't consider you a man, and if you got a problem with what I just said, you got a problem.
You're just an emotional boy.
Yeah.
That's what you are. You see, to be a man, you have to understand your feelings. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? You should understand how to control yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why we confuse these emotional grown boys with being men. You have never even had a real conversation with somebody that didn't get you so heated. Now you feel like hitting somebody, or you cursing them out above. You can't really see the clear picture here, even if it's okay to agree and disagree. But you don't see the bigger picture because your mind is still stuck on four corners,
Yep.
thus
Yep.
making you a little boy. So that's how
Yep.
that works right there.
And I bring this up because we would always be like, a man is supposed to just take care of the family, take care of the community. You're supposed to take care of the village. And if we really supposed to conduct ourselves as the great black men we are of, the world, we should operate as if every child you see is a part of your family and a part of your village. And if you don't operate like that,
Yeah.
that's where the lack of community comes from. And to be honest, that's where the lack of consciousness and the lack of caring. Because originally, when we was going to talk about our segment on just the life that we live out here in the Midwest, you'll start with the missing kids and the missing women. Like a lot about, and that's still a problem today. I what was this last week, bro? We kept seeing flyers and just posts of all the missing kids and missing women. A majority of the posts that I kept seeing was black women and our kids missing. And it was just driving me. And I was like, bro,
I
where is
actually
this
saw
uprising coming from?
of a missing woman where she was from Chicago, and I guess she was like a yoga instructor, and she was working on getting her yoga license.
The one
And
that was in the Bahamas?
her
The
phone actually,
she light skin with light blonde hair, right? Yeah, they still looking for her now.
yeah.
They still looking for her now.
So that was my thing, was just, man, you know what I'm saying? You're from Chicago. You're at least in Chicago. I'm gonna
Yeah.
state, you in Chicago, and now you done went missing. That's already alarming to your family, and that's scary to the people that's around, right? And then next thing you know, we find out your phone come up in another country.
Oh, okay. So when I seen this story, I thought that she went missing in the Bahamas.
Maybe I'm mistaken it, because I
Yeah,
thought she went missing in Chicago, and then they
no.
found her in the Bahamas.
Well, don't quote us, y'all, if we wrong, but we're acknowledging the fact that the woman is missing, and we are concerned. Uh, and even with that, I wanted to put on notice because this show is called Midwest Point of View. So I want to bring you to our point of view about the amount of missing people in the Midwest. And this is from state to state. So I really just want to tell you that the whole total is almost 2,869,000 missing people, right? Throughout the census from the past at least 2 years. It's 400 and something from Illinois right now.
Okay, so not to cut you off, bro, I just want to make sure that we get this right for the people, so we're not providing any false information, because that's not what we want to do either.
Yeah.
So just to make sure that I get it right. So she was last seen at a Paradise Island yoga retreat before her phone came up missing.
In the Bahamas, though, right?
But then the phone was found in the Bahamas, yes. And then the Bahama police force um, are now, in search of her.
Yeah. So that was
Because they
it.
found other items and belongings
Mm-hmm.
that led back to it being Miss Taylor Casey.
Okay. But and I don't want to say condolences, but we do bring out prayers that she comes home, comes back to the city. But I do want to acknowledge the sorrows that even in our region, so Ohio, Michigan, um, over 500 people in between. So 400 and 7 in Ohio, 600 something in Michigan, 200 plus in Indiana, and the list goes on. But I'll tell you right now, there's over at least 50 plus to 100 plus in every state that represents the Midwest of people from adults to kids. And majority of those people do be women. There are some men, but our people are missing. And I think what prevents cases, right? Overall, because we began with the violence in the city and then we talked about the missing people. I believe what prevents cases from being solved is the lack of the community really wanting to work together to help those who are righteous in law enforcement, right? So those who really are cops who want to see, and the cops that look like you, like who really want to see these kids and these women brought home or justice served to the victims. Like I really believe that we should change our approach and our opinion when it comes to working with the police in our cities.
And even if it's not just, just to piggyback off where you're coming from, even if it's not just the police, like as myself, the advocates, as bro here, the activists, the people that actually want to help and support, we not looking to cause any more damage or harm than what's already been caused.
Yeah.
So providing information that you may know that could help another family, rather we're going to give it to a particular party that you may not feel you have a good intention cause, like for the police example, not everybody like the police, okay? Let's just go ahead and get to it. But not all police officers are bad. There are some that you can trust and you can confide into. So as us as victim advocates, our job is to cipher out those, so we can't provide those resources to you.
And even anonymously.
You have to take up those resources. You have to take the opportunity yourself. It's like leading a camel to the water. I can't make it drink.
Yeah. So. But even anonymously though. So like even so, for instance, right? When I'm out doing my advocacy, or even when I'm when I'm working with my boys. So let's say one of my boys came to me and they was in the detriment, right? And it was supposedly information that could help solve the case. They don't want to be, directly involved. If they report it to me as their mentor or their advocate, whichever, or I will say, okay, I got this information from possibly, right? You can report it anonymously, or I will be the go-between. But we're here to say that as a community, whether you are just a friend, you a neighbor, sibling, or otherwise, as a village, if we really want to solve a lot of these issues, we have to start conducting and caring about each other as a collective, reporting as a collective, however you want to operate in it, to be honest.
Yeah, working together. I mean, you care about having a neighborhood watch to make sure that nobody come in there and take your TV.
Yeah.
Why not having some type of system set up in your neighborhood to make sure nobody take your child or take your neighbor's child?
Yeah.
It's just kind of all the same concept. I mean, in 2022, Illinois saw an increase in missing people, and that's including kids under
Right.
right? That's a 10% in adults and an 18% for kids.
Yeah. First off, we need to change the numbers anyway. We have to do better. We shouldn't have these instances overall. As we continue, and one of the ways I think that we can implement these changes is taking ideas from people who trying to do the work on the multiple levels, right? And this is where we go when we talk about our point of view on the culture, because that initially the lives that we live are a precursor to the way the culture has sort of made certain things norm when they shouldn't be. So now, when it comes to what figures do we follow, who do we entrust to lead us? There's the local police, there's the fire department, but then there's also the political office, even as far as your mayor. So I say that to say because I wanted to highlight Marian, Indiana. It's a city in Indiana, and Marian, Indiana, has its first black mayor. Right, their first black mayor. You said what?
Oh, you said I was just making sure you wrote that out. You said the first black mayor.
Yeah, first black mayor, Ronald Morel Jr. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He 30.
So
he 30, bro.
Just to clear that up bro, because we want to make sure we get that right. So he is the first black mayor since the lynching.
Yeah, and Marian. So in Marian, Indiana.
And this is since that lynching that took place.
Yeah. And even then, that is a man. When you hear the words, it throw you off a little bit, lynching. But that how do I say this? That is a step in the direction that our ancestors always wanted to see. Man, to be honest,
that's
as far as improvement.
You feel me? But at the same time, Marian itself, where he's coming from, as far as to be the mayor of, it's going to take a lot more to actually make right and justice from their past and history. For example, since that lynching that took place alone, and just to enlighten you guys on the lynching that took place, three black men died. Right? They got lynched in the courthouse, like in the center of the like the center of the courthouse. You know how they used to call the center of like a
town square,
the courthouse or whatever. So this is the center of this, and it's a tree outside, and they hung all three of them on that tree for everybody to see.
I heard that story. I didn't know that story was. I didn't know that story was connected to this particular town.
On August 1930, a white mob of 10,000 to 15,000 people, right? They came into Marian, Indiana, and they came into the jail. So I'm sorry. Let me start from the beginning. Those three black men were arrested for allegedly killing a white man that was a factory worker. Okay, so he was a factory worker, and they were allegedly prosecuted for killing him and raping his companion.
Mm-hmm.
So while they were, held in the jail cell, this mob came together again between 10,000 to 15,000 people. Okay, that's a lot of fucking people, bro. Like, man, and they stormed in there, took them people out, the three black men, and then beat them with crowbars, hammers, and then lynched them. And that's how that took place, as far as with thus causing a lot of racism and
so this is what I'm gonna say. To add to your knowledge, yes. To sum it up, the history in this country, from state to state, there are probably thousands of similar stories, if not exactly the same type of stories, right? And when you talk about reasons why people even bring up reparations, there's a Instagram page that does reparations talks. They actually about to have a public forum. If
The
you in
forum is
Chicago,
what?
they're gonna have a public forum on
Some people don't know what that is.
reparations. Okay. Really quickly though, the public forum for reparations is July 6th, Saturday, if you in the city of Chicago. But for those who don't know what reparations is, to paraphrase, and if I, you know what, I'm a paraphrase, but I'm also Google real quick, just because for people who like
I mean, I got
verbatim
I got you. So
definitions.
definition itself would be the making of amends for a wrong one has
Mm,
done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged.
okay. Uh, yeah, and just it's paying for the wrongdoers that you serve to particular people. But here is where power in your vote, power in leveraging the amount of elects that you have when you say we as a collective village, block, or town say that we vote this person in to make changes to our community, to make better to our community, which is why I said Marian, Indiana having his first black mayor is a step, and the fact that he's young, like he's 30. So we down to 30. To be honest with y'all, yeah, we really about to be 29 in 6 months. So to see the fact that he's the mayor of town and we relatively the same age was a highlight for me, and that he himself cares about his community. So he founded, I would say, because I'm not sure if he still continuously runs this foundation for the youth, but he founded a boys and girls club. He owns like 3, 4 businesses, and he has an amazing outlook on what he wants to do with the city, right? And it was 3 major things. So it was the workforce, a clean city, and then the last one was literacy. Which is ironic. You already know I thought about you. As soon as I seen the word, I was like, literacy. Um, he's going to start a reading program, right? So, Papa Fredo, being from the Midwest, why is it so important for children and the youth to have a high literacy rate of being able to read and comprehend on more than just preschool level and so forth?
So to answer that question for you, right? Literacy is important. Just simple literacy itself is very important because if if I if I if I'm speaking to you, right, and I'm using certain words that you don't understand, you're gonna nod your head. You're gonna nod your head probably. More than likely you're gonna nod your head before you ask, what was that word? And what does that mean? Right? So as we going throughout, life and you getting older and you're trying to talk to people that are mature, you cannot have the conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
And
You're on 2 different levels.
It's not that I'm using a super big word, right? I could be
Mm-hmm.
using the word independence, but you don't even understand what independence is.
Yeah.
So that's a simple thing that a lot of people fail to realize, and how much they lack as far as within their literature. Like you can't with you not being able to keep up with a simple conversation, it shows your work ethic, right? Because if I can't trust you to speak to me in a certain manner, I can't trust you to uphold my business in a certain manner.
Yeah. If you don't, so for those that was like, huh? So if you don't know how to properly communicate, right? So if you don't know how to properly communicate in different avenues, it can damage a deal. It can damage a deal in business, and it can damage a reputation of an organization. Uh, and you see that happen a lot where, you may answer the phone and you don't know who's on the other end, and the vernacular that you may use with your family doesn't come across as favorable to whoever that is, that might be like a six-figure businessman, and it just all depends.
He not gonna understand phone now.
Yeah,
That's my, and I appreciate you coming in to break that down as much as possible,
yeah,
because that's my entire point there. You know what I mean? Like, learn how to talk to people for real.
yeah, for sure.
Learn how to talk to people, because it starts there a little bit. You
Mm,
know, I don't know who taught you as a kid and was talking to you in certain ways that you felt that you never should elevate or learn more, but you should.
yeah,
You know, we ain't slaves no more. We can read now. You know, like, we are being taught to read. Pick up the book, read, learn how to expand your brain.
yeah. And even with that, because everybody who watches the show, you got to know that I come from a very, very like African mindset. So what I'll say to add to that is know how to explain the verbiage that you're using. So because I've had this happen in this instance of literacy, and I had to explain to a person that I was speaking Creole. Like I wasn't speaking what they perceived to be like the Queen's English. Like I was actually speaking like Ebonics. And there's a history of what is actual dialect and what you may not understand versus what is the Queen's English. And when I had to break that down, and they was like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah." So I'm not ignorant. You just don't know what it is that I'm saying. If you
See, and
like
that's
me to,
the other thing, right?
yeah,
Like, okay, I'll talk to somebody a certain way, as far as what I'm thinking that we are of like mind. So as I'm using certain verbiage or the topic that's at hand, I'm thinking
yeah,
you can uphold or you can walk with me with
yeah,
But I'm making you mad, but you're not flowing with me. And I
yeah,
thought we was here. And then you kind of frustrate yourself because you got to ask questions in between, like the type of questions I didn't think that you would have had to ask, to be number
mm,
one, you know. But I don't mind teaching, because that's something that we should all be more open to as well, to each one teach one, so you got questions while we having a conversation. I have no problem with breaking everything down to you as simple as possible that I can do to the best of my abilities. But I'm,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
don't walk in the door thinking, all right, everybody gonna understand, like I said, phone them or,
yeah,
simple ebonics. Like, that's just not how,
yeah,
that's not how the world really works. And our people, at least, being of black skin, this is what we go through. A lot of us, like, and that's why they kind of call us ignorant, but it's not that we are ignorant because we choose to speak in a certain way. And I'm not trying to come at us like that either, because it's okay to have our own way to talk to one another or how we choose to do so behind closed doors. But you do have to understand and decipher when to use these kind of different verbiages and who you're talking to and how to talk to that person within a different way. Don't
being
talk to
versatile,
me like this your best friend.
being versatile in your language is useful.
That as well,
Yeah,
because
being versatile in
it
your
can
language is
get
useful. And
the
that's one
wrong
of the
way.
goals. That's one of the goals of Marian, though. The black mayor, wants to improve Marian's literacy rate by starting with programs that partner with Marian community schools and encourage volunteers to read to children. Right, so that's their initiative. The other two, really quickly, because I do want to highlight this, because this is important. His workforce initiative focused on entrepreneurship, trades, tech, the Young Business Owners Association to increase awareness for trade. Tech is opening a coding boot camp, and then entrepreneurship is to enhance small business, encourage education towards lucrative careers, and stimulate economic growth. Because nothing can change without that dollar circulating in your community. You
Ain't
think you
that
want a pothole fixed in your community broke? I don't know what you're gonna do.
that's the truth?
I'm trying to tell you.
It's
And then
right now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pose this question, and I think I'm gonna put it in a poll when we clip this up. But does it matter what side of the aisle the person is running for office? Does it matter if he's supposedly liberal or if he's supposedly conservative? If he himself, even if, especially if he himself represents you, that he wants to improve the community. If he has the ideals that I just stated to improve your community, does it matter?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, yeah. Lastly, I forgot to mention he wants to clean up the city. So these 3 main initiatives. He wants to do a citywide cleanup day, which I'm for. I like all these initiatives he got right here.
It sounds like he got the right idea and he got the right plan put together to try to make things go better for his city. Just hopefully we're gonna see you implicate those things, big dog, and take care of your business because
Yeah.
it ain't a easy pair of pants that you filling in right now, but you doing it. So we appreciate you for that. For taking that stand here in the Midwest and holding up our culture.
And speaking of that, speaking of taking care of business, it is very important for you to understand business ethics, uh, business contracts, and business agreements. And the reason why we said that because we ran across something that was astonishing when we found out that Mickey D's, good old Mickey D's or McDonald's,
Man,
was founded in the Midwest. You got hungry now. You want fries, don't you?
yeah.
But
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, Ray Kroc.
Ray Kroc, good old Ray Kroc. Fredo, tell us about Ray Kroc, man. What they don't know.
So Ray Kroc is the founder of Mickey D's as far as with the franchise. Now, the McDonald brothers, let's not be sleep on the McDonald brothers.
Let them know.
Come out with the hamburger, your good old fry, your Coke, and how they orchestrated that back in the day. They started it, right? It was their company. But Ray Kroc saw the future.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's all it takes. It don't matter, what another person may start if you can't necessarily be innovative, right? But if you can see the future in the product and you could beat everybody else to the game, that's how you do it. And this is what Ray Kroc did. So basically, what Ray Kroc chose to do was purchase all the land, right? That all of the McDonald's start to be built on, because he went out and opened up majority of the franchise contracts to even get
to build the company because they were partners
for McDonald's to be a franchise
itself. Yeah, they were partners.
Building is one thing, the land is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 2-step factor to his whole method of madness that he rolled out. And like I said, so the land was the first thing. After purchasing up as much land as he could, he then started making contracts and allowed those to build McDonald's on his land. So when the time came that he did not see things fit or eye to eye with the McDonald's brothers, it was not a problem for him to take and snatch their company. And to the public, to the McDonald's brothers themselves, everybody then saw McDonald's to be his. The brothers couldn't even argue with it anymore. So they thus took a buyout and they were happily bought out of the company.
So here's what I'm going to say after that. I don't, from what we got from the story, from what we got from the overall depiction of the movie, right? I want to say that they were happy about it. I would say that they
don't mistake that as far as with when I say happy, right? Because I want you to give your take on happy, but when I say happy, I'm more so saying as far as with Ray Kroc. You see.
Oh well, yeah, he the victor in it. Yeah, he the victor. So,
point, right? So there was no way to fight it. Like, man,
so I want to advocate for the little man, bro. I want to advocate for the little man because this is a teaching moment. So the reason why we do business topics is to really teach you in these conversations. If you listen, that be aware of what it is that you're signing. Be aware of who it is that you're getting into agreements, contracts, and litigations with. be aware of all these things and the outlines, and that there is a clear and hopefully ironclad exit plan if these business ventures that you're going into don't work out. And that way that there is no sour or misfortune on both ends. Because when you're in agreement, and a lot of people think that because y'all are relatives or whatever the case is, that business can't go left and can't go right. It definitely can. It does not matter that you two are related, or you know what I'm
if it's your
saying,
relative.
you know, or otherwise. So with that being said, the reason I'm gonna try and give you a short overview. The McDonald's brothers had the setup, right? They had the clean setup. Give your product in 3-4 minutes. Boom, handshake out the door. You pay me, I give you, and it's golden, right? There was no issue. They had the timing down packed. Ray Kroc comes in, he sees, oh man, this is a golden man. This is a number one operation. I want to expand and I want a piece of the dollar. Cool. They say, yeah. Now, what happens is McDonald's brothers had already tried this, but I don't think they had the same setup as Ray Kroc. So they were like, we had already expanded, bro. We already tried it. We couldn't really help it out. They didn't want to, because they wanted to stay true to their purpose. A lot of people, this is why it's so keen to understand what your vision is and what the people that you partner in that vision is. If y'all don't agree before you sign these things that your vision can stay in alignment or that it's in alignment, it's not finna work out. Ray Kroc was like, bro, I don't care about all that having 100% ice cream and not having Coca-Cola on the sponsoring board. Ray Kroc, like, I'm trying to get to this bag. His goal was getting to the bag. Their goal was making their franchise memorable and making their business the McDonald's business. Like, they're happy with the way things are. They want every franchise to be this way. They don't care about the bag. They honestly care about quality over quantity. He like, I want quantity because I'm trying to do this and do that. You over here talking about something, and I ain't trying to make all these people happy. They hungry.
Yeah.
They hungry. That's it. They hungry.
But you know, don't sell Ray short too short. You know, he was pretty big on his quality. You know, he made sure that the other McDonald's upheld to their end of the bargain as far as with you take care of the burger the way the burger is supposed to be taken care of. You do this the way you're supposed to do it. You know, this is
Well, yeah, because you want to make a
but
staple.
as far as you know, the McDonald's brothers, you're right. They was still stuck on four corners. You know, you don't really see.
I'm not mad at them for that though.
No. And again, you know, to take so much pride in your product, right? That makes you that's what makes you a good salesman. That's what made their business so great. That's what drove Ray Kroc to the business, honestly.
Because I'm so clear to pick the ball, I can do it in
Yeah,
10 minutes.
yeah, come on, man. And it doesn't matter what the name was. You know, at the
Yeah.
end of the movie, if you really watch the movie, you see that he told them, you know, I fell in love with the business when I first heard the name. Okay, that may be true, but honestly, you fell in love with the business because of the structure. You know, you honestly, if they didn't produce your food so fast, and it was hot, it was good, you know, if it didn't come out like that, you would have never messed with it. No matter
Yep.
what the name was.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
So
Facts.
at the end of the day, it's just take pride in your product is what you want to take from that. Take pride in your product.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be scared of progression. You know, you should always be
Those
on
are
the
the
next level.
right there. Those are the two main lessons. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not saying be greedy, but be aware that if you feel like you have reached a level in your life and you think like, man, I'm cool right now, I'm happy, you know, but I could do better. Don't think about nothing else. That was it. That's all it took right there. Do better.
Yep. So for me, on this subject, I'm gonna give my two takeaways. The first takeaway is really, man, make sure your contract together. Cause when I ain't gonna lie to you, when I seen that man come in and take their business after they build it from the ground up, and I'm talking about they put blood, sweat, tears up in it. I was like, bro, you Bodine, Joe.
Brothers, bro. Like, How you take another grown man's name?
Bro, like you and cold with it. You bullying and cold with it. Like that's how you know I was emotional about it. I mean the terms. He was bogus. But the second thing for me though, on the dreamer side, right? Because I got this from Ray Kroc. My man saw a vision and went forward. My man saw a vision and went forward. Was he justified in the way that he did it? I wouldn't say he was. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with the route that he took. But in regards to like, yo, I believe in this and this what I'm doing and ain't nobody finna stop me. That I agree with and that I respect.
See, I like what you said. I kind of want to say, I feel like Ray Kroc was just because that's a good thing that you said and that you mentioned, right? Because it's two sides of the coin, So I just want to say for those that may feel like, look, Ray Kroc was just. And why was he just? Because in the art of war or business, there is no friends. There is no family. It's only winning. That's it. That's all. So what he saw was two losers. Honestly, y'all think y'all winning, but I'm doing better. And not too much in a competitive light that he wanted to railroad them over like that. They didn't want to give him what he wanted and what he kept asking them to do to help progress as a team. So he did what needed to be done to take over, cut off the other heads, progress the business. Now look at McDonald's today. You got one almost on every corner, and you can go get you a good golden fry and a nice cheeseburger.
I'm sorry, y'all. He reminded me of Power the way he started talking. I was like, this is Power or is this McDonald's, man?
Huh?
I'm like, is this Power or is this McDonald's, bro? What are we talking about?
Bro, the way he did it is just, hey, he ran it like Power. You know what I'm saying? He took over the blocks. You hear me?
Moving the blocks.
Yeah, he bigger than Nova.
Man. Oh, what?
Man, so that's how I'll take on the Ray Kroc situation as far as with him taking over McDonald's and leaving the McDonald's brothers in the dust, and then we done went over refreshing this.
I support y'all McDonald's brothers, okay? Look, as you see, we have verses and opinions. You know what I'm saying? We brothers, but we don't always agree. And hey, we have different point of view, as you see right now. You feel me?
For sure. And then we went over the missing people, so we happy to enlighten y'all on what's going on around us as far as with, again, pay attention to that percentage level. 10% for adults, 18% for kids. Come on, man. We probably don't got all of the solutions to every problem, but at least we can shine the light on some of these things that you guys are probably not paying attention to until now. So let's go ahead and take heed to that as well. And then the last thing that we would be touching up on was good old Mayor Ronald Morrell. Right? Did I say that name right? Ronald Morel Jr.?
Yeah. But
am I right? You can correct me there. I ain't.
No. It's not. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. So yeah, going over him and taking over Indiana as far as with one city at a time with a black mayor. Hey, it's a start. So
I don't know. It's a start. I agree. So with that being said, that's a wrap for the show, though. Let me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. You got something to say?
No. That's a wrap for the show, bro.
Okay, cool. Thank you for joining in on another episode of the Midwest Point of View, where we give our point of view. If you want to join in next week.
Now, if you want to come on the show, man, and give your perspective and give your point of view, man, like, comment, share, subscribe, and email us. Straight up. Like, email us if you want to come on the show at midwestpointofview@gmail.com. All right, and when you're up out of here. So, peace.
Peace out.